Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. This is an important video, ladies and gentlemen, because I believe right now Bitcoin is at a crucial level, and we're going to talk about it in this video. I found it very amusing over the past couple of days watching kind of technical analysis people really make every single call wrong. You know, they are literally, it's like dealing with somebody with bipolar. They are changing from one polar to the other rapidly, sometimes within 12 hours, and ultimately, guys, I think that TA right now is failing a lot of people. I think TA is a very useful tool, and I think it's one that everybody should really have in their arsenal, if even on a novice level. It's just fun to play around with, and TA can really provide a lot of reliable data in certain situations. But right now, guys, you really don't have, other than the trend of this, much going on. You can see that the trend is clearly bearish. You can see that the overall trend is very, very clearly downwards. And this would suggest, until something happens, more continuation. You also have a symmetrical triangle that's formed essentially right here, where you're neither making sort of higher highs, but you're actually not making lower lows. This typically, on the balance of probabilities, is going to lead to more downside. So what we're going to do in this video, guys, is we're going to cover the possibilities of us perhaps going down to 25k, or continuing to do what I believe we're going to do, which is going to make a recovery out of this. Nothing too major, maybe a bit more capitulation before we then do a similar thing to what we have previously seen. And I'll show you what I think essentially is going to happen. And the best way for me to do that is show you where something like this has happened before. And this was March 2020. I think we're going to have a similar recovery to what we saw back here, guys. And we are going to continue in this bull run. We did say before this sell-off that we are in a bit of a tricky situation with it being May. Lots of sellers sell in May and come back sort of the end of July. So what are we going to talk about in this video? Now, why is it that I believe that we aren't going to sell off and the floor for Bitcoin is in? Well, right now, guys, I think you have a sort of bottoming structure forming, which I like to see. And ultimately, I think if you look at the kind of previous structures that set up before a sell-off, there is some innate differences here, guys. And ultimately, I think that if Bitcoin was to sell off any more than it already has, you would be getting into sort of dangerous territories. Certainly when it comes to, forming death crosses and stuff like that. I do believe we're still in the bull run. I do think we're going to continue. And ultimately, I think we bottomed because we showed you the ABC correction. We largely subscribe to something called the Elliott wave theory. We think this entire market, certainly Bitcoin and other altcoins, we've mapped it out for the likes of Cardano, Aave, a number of other projects, essentially are moving in a kind of 5-wave Elliott wave structure, and they are going to have ABC corrections along the way. And you can see within each individual wave, you have the Elliott wave structure. The pullback waves have an ABC correction, and your kind of forward legs have, your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movements in them. And ultimately, we do believe that you are just in your fourth leg now for Bitcoin, and you are going to see a fifth wave continuation. And you are going to have ABC corrections at the end of this third wave, guys. So that's essentially exactly what I think's happened. I think you have completed your ABC correction. But the TA guy I was listening to this morning, he's a brilliant TA guy, was essentially saying that he believes there is more downside to come. You're essentially going to have another fifth wave down here. You can see very clearly that, even in this fourth wave, you have an ABC correction. And within an ABC correction, you have essentially the Elliott wave theory gets turned on its head, and you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. And then on the up leg, you have an ABC correction. So it kind of reverses. And you can really see that, guys, here. Your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you back up for your A, B, C. And then you rinse and repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But he thinks that the fifth wave hasn't actually come in yet. I somewhat agree with that. I somewhat don't. I think TA right now only serves you to a certain purpose. I think the best thing you can do right now is understand what you're a part of. What I'm doing right now is I'm learning. I'm spending all my time right now. I'm still dollar cost averaging into my positions. You guys know I've been accumulating something like Cardano and other projects, things like Algorand, very heavily throughout this time period. But right now, in times like this, it's the best time to learn, guys. You guys know I got into the space in 2017, which was either the right or the wrong time. It was the wrong time in terms of an investment proposition, but was a great time in terms of the lesson that I learned. And it's the reason I've stayed relatively calm throughout all of this. And you are going to reach an equilibrium. Bitcoin's either going to do one thing, and I know this sounds very contradictory and Not very decisive, but it is either going to go up or down, guys. I mean, these are the only two ways it could possibly go. And you are going to reach an equilibrium very, very soon, in my opinion. We don't really want to see too much capitulation. Although if we capitulate, it would just be another confirming factor that we are bottoming. But what am I more biased towards? Well, I'm more biased towards a bull, sort of a bullish movement. Why is that? Because I do believe we are in a macro bull trend, guys. You can see very, very clearly that Bitcoin's it's only going up, regardless of these sell-offs and what happens within the 4-year cycle theory. And ultimately, I do think 2021 is a bull run, essentially. I think that's how it plays out. And I think you are going to recover from this, whether or not... Let's take the worst-case scenario and you sell off and you roll out of this triangle, which, based on the balance of probability, guys, would suggest you're going to do, because, of course, we know that symmetrical triangles will tend to go towards... There's no decisiveness there. What it will do is tend to go towards the overall trend. And the trend right now is bearish. Let's say we do roll over and we go down to that sort of 25k mark. You know, I reckon you're going to get bought back very, very fast. And sometimes you need a kind of volatile movement to push the market in one way before then going another. So I don't think, if we did sell off to 25k, which I'm not suggesting we will do, but it is a possibility, all that is for me and, you know, the people around me is a fantastic buying opportunity that I will be taking full advantage of. There are a lot of things about Bitcoin, and I can tell there's a lot of new people in the space, because people are still asking me the age-old question, well, why is Bitcoin valuable when there's nothing tangible behind it? That's like asking if freedom is valuable, you know, or what's the value of actually being able to maintain value in a world where the value systems that you are given are constantly losing it. You know, they're just two very broad reasons. We could go on, and when you get into things like Ethereum and stuff like that, the question was raised, and I'm really open to question, guys. Any kind of intellectual questions that you guys have in regards to the space, I'm more than happy to answer. We are going to start live streaming so we can do more, have more sort of personal interactions. You know, he was essentially saying, well, you can't really compare something like Bitcoin and Ethereum to Amazon and Microsoft were the two .com stocks that we looked at. And you really can, because, you know, Amazon largely is not... The whole business model of Amazon is really a service. It's really technology, Amazon. It's not really anything physical. It's really just a marketplace that came out of the internet that has done exceptionally well and is revolutionary in many ways. The same as Microsoft, it's really just software that is sold. They do more physical stuff now, but blockchain is akin to the internet and cryptos are akin to the .com stocks. And that was the point I was really trying to make. And if you remember that, I mean, right now, guys, you got El Salvador, President of El Salvador says that he's going to make Bitcoin legal tender. You got the Cayman Isles that are essentially looking at this. The news is just continuous, guys. Look, you got the Bank of England released discussion paper on stablecoin CBDC. The world is moving. Bitcoin, gold are likely to withstand Fed taper. The world is moving in the right direction. And I do also think, and I want to take you to this here, guys, this is the stock to flow deflection chart. You're at a crucial point right here, and this is usually followed by a big run up, guys. And ultimately, I do think a big move is coming, either one way or the other. We've just spoken about going down to sort of the 25k mark, you know, possibly a little bit lower, 23k, something like that. It's not the end of the world, guys, and all that is for me is a buying opportunity. And what you want to be doing right now, ladies and gentlemen, is learning, understanding what you're a part of. We're going to be bringing out more videos when we're really, you know, I've been listening to a lot of things. I've been listening to Andreas Antonopoulos, who is, very educational individual. Yes, our values might not align, our philosophical values, and you know, he's not a big fan on sort of speculating in regards to the price of Bitcoin, whereas, you know, I am. I don't think there's anything wrong with... I think most people are in the crypto space to make money. And I think what ends up happening is, you know, the more they get involved with crypto, the more they kind of fall in love with the ideologies behind it. That's certainly what happened with me, and I'm sure many of you guys out there. And you are at a crucial moment for Bitcoin, guys, and I am expecting, you know, a move. Which way that move goes, ultimately I'm sticking to we've bottomed. I don't think Bitcoin can afford to go much lower than this. However, it could set up a similar structure to what you had over here, guys, where you roll over, you capitulate, you roll over, and you capitulate. But if you look at the structure here, it's kind of like a hanging branch. You don't have that here with Bitcoin right now. So we'll see what happens. I found it very sort of amusing watching all these technical analysis guys really chop and change. I think this is why understanding the fundamentals of what you're a part of and that, blockchain technology really is going to play a outstanding role in the future and is going to accrue value as a result of that is the most important thing you can do right now. But I'm still bullish. I'm still biased bullish. Even if we sold off, I'd still be bullish. And really, it would just be another buying opportunity for me. And right now, as far as altcoins are concerned, you're really at the mercy of Bitcoin and what it decides to do. It is showing a little bit of weakness. That is true. You're not really making up your mind right now. You're coming up and you're smashing your head off this EMA, which would kind of all dictate that you perhaps are going to sell off slightly. But time in this market is dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. I've been in the business now for a while of dollar cost averaging, picking a good entry point and sticking with it regardless of what happens and hodling, because that's how you make money in the crypto space, is by hodling. And ultimately, I would like to think that we are through with our sell-off and we are going to get back rocking and rolling. I mean, lots of people do think we're in a bear market, and the reason being is because of just how brutal the actual sell-off was. This essentially was largely, this sell-off is the first time we had 772,000 people get liquidated on long positions. That brought a unfathomable amount of sell pressure. Really, from that 38k all the way down to 30 mark was just sell pressure from liquid longs getting liquidated. Sorry. So that's all I have for you in this video, guys. I just thought I'd answer it. The shorts and curlies of this is, and let me make this apparent to every single one of you, and I hope you're all still with me on this. Nobody knows with 100% certainty whether the price is going to go up or down. So it's important to look at both aspects. It's why I listen to a lot of TA guys that have opposing views to me. But what is the best thing to do is look at, like I say, both aspects, whether, both situations. If we did go down to 23k, is it the end of the world? Absolutely not. For some people that bought at 65k, I bet they're going to perhaps feel like it is. But I'm sure if you bought back in 2017 at 20k, you're still in the profit from there, guys. Hodling is the key to winning in this, and ultimately I do still bias that we have bottomed out and we are going to continue moving. But Bitcoin needs to do certain things. We could absolutely roll over, but I'm really going to stick to the bias that we're going to kind of stay here, and we're going to start to recover. But, just remember, bear that in mind, guys. We could still roll over, and we could be coming back to test some of those kind of levels previously. That would be fine. I know it would scare a lot of people, but, at the end of the day, guys, this is the crypto space. Volatility is attached to any emerging market. That's just how the game goes, guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Remember, it's time to learn, guys. It's time to do some reading. It's time to, understand what you're a part of. If you get those fundamentals down, those fundamental principles of what blockchain's really all about, and certainly for those of you who haven't read the Bitcoin white paper, go and give it a read. It's a very short read, very simple, not too technical. There's a little bit of technical stuff in there, but you can sort of just bypass that. The overall message will become apparent of what's going on here. All I have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to love and leave you on that note. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next YouTube video. So get subscribed. Thanks a lot for watching, guys.